Hello guys, and with the new support for Madolche's revealed, the new XC Monster Madolche teacher Glassoufle. I don't remember the name, so I won't even try. I'm going to call that monster Madolche teacher for the rest of the video because I don't remember the name, alright? A lot of people have been kinda... They already are saying that this card is horrible. It's because we needed something different, we need a rank 3 and etc. But actually I think that this new teacher monster is actually very good. It helps a lot with turn 1 plays and even going second. With the release of Pudding Successor, I think that the best build is pure, alright? It's not any Brilliant Fusion anymore. And this card, the teacher card, helps a lot with the Pudding Successor build because you want to go second with that build. There's no way whatsoever once Savage Strike released on the TCG, even when it was released on the OCG, one thing that I have noticed is that there's a problem with the build, which is the deck wants to go second, which is not a bad thing, but if you go first, there is literally nothing you can do. You have no interactions whatsoever. You can kinda try to place some cards to mitigate that, but they don't work very well. At the end of the day, you want to go second, and that card helps you going first, even though it won't be like the most oppressive board whatsoever. It's no like Spiral Sleeper plus Stargate Wizard plus 2 Firewall Dragons back in the day when Spirals were full power. It's nothing as crazy like that, but at least it's something decent. It's better than we have now. Anyways, I'm going to first show... I'm going to use proxies because as I'm in Kitezidon, we don't have the Pudding Successor, unfortunately, so I'm going to proxy using Fire Princess. So this combo can be made with those 3 cards, Pudding Successor, Angeli, and Madeline. So you are going to probably play 3 copies of each and every one of those cards, realistically. But the only thing that changes is the order of your plays. In this case, it actually is better to start with Madeline because you're going to search Fire Princess and not Fire Princess, Pudding Successor, you're going to search her and then you're going from there and get an extra monster on the field. But the only thing that changes in the case you start with Angeli is the order of the things that you do. But if you change some things, this combo is very similar. So I will just show the most complicated version, I suppose, which is with Angeli, and the other versions are way simpler. Anyways, you are going to normal summon Angeli and tribute her. In the case of Pudding Successor, you're going to simply special. And now you're going to summon Pudding Successor effect to summon a monster, which will be Puddinces, to your deck. So now Puddinces is level 4, and now you're going to overlay both into our new XC Monster teacher girl, whatever it's called. Anyways, you're going to detach Pudding Successor and target herself, so now she is unaffected by card effects, monster effects, not really relevant, I suppose. You just want to detach a card, so now you can have a material because you're going to rank up into Chocolatella mode. Chocolatella mode, shuffle either Pudding Successor or Angeli, doesn't matter. And now you're going to detach teacher to activate the second effect of Chocolatella mode and summon a Hoot Cake to your field. Hoot Cake effect, banish the XC monster. You want to banish on this way because for Chocolatella mode to be able to activate, the monster needs to be shuffled to the main deck. So it doesn't matter if you shuffle XC monster, Chocolatella mode won't be able to trigger. So anyways, you're going to summon Mr. Gelato and Mr. Gelato search Chateau. Activate Chateau, shuffle the remaining monster and detach for Chocolatella mode again. And now you can summon Mr. Gelato. Mr. Gelato effect, add ticket, probably the best option in this case. And anyways, you are going to simply link those two into Cstart and now overlay onto your second copy of teacher, and that's pretty good. Yes, it's not the most oppressive field whatsoever, but at least you have some kind of disruption, and considering that there is a lot of decks that depend on sending specific cards to the graveyard, like for example Sky Strikers. Sometimes they need to send engage to the graveyard. If they cannot, they won't be able to play. The same with, I don't know, Thunder Dragons sending Roar with Battery Man, or literally any card in the Warrior deck. You shuffle I don't know, Phoenix Blade or Phantom Knight, and then you shut off their turn. It's not on the same level on disruption as something like Pendulum Magicians, but at the end of the day you still went +3 and you still have a disruption. And you also have the possibility to activate the Teacher's Effect, return some cards that you want into your hand, probably Hoot Cake or Gelato, if you want. If in the case that the opponent don't have anything that you want to shuffle from their graveyard. Anyways, to the next combo, which is an extended version of this one. In this case, you actually start with either Ticket or Chateau, and now you will be able to make an even more powerful board going first. So you're going to normal Angeli and tribute her. Do essentially the same thing that we did before. Not much to say here. I'm going to simply do what I did before. Chocolatella mode, effect, second effect, summon Hoot Cake, and now Gelato will search the missing piece if you don't have. In the case that if you don't have Ticket or Chateau. Anyways, you are going to activate Ticket and then Chateau, and now it will shuffle the remaining monster, detach once again to... Oh, sorry. in this case, you... Ticket will be Chain Link 1 because it's a mandatory effect. You need to search or summon a card with Ticket. It's mandatory, and Chocolatella mode will be Chain Link 2. So in this case, it doesn't. You want to summon with Chocolatella mode as Chain Link 2 a monster that don't miss time, because Gelato miss time. So if you summon 2 Gelatos, one of those Gelatos will miss time. So in this case, you can either summon something like... You can summon simply a Mageline or any random level 4 Madolche monster, but something that I think it's very, very cool, because it's a card that I like very much, is to summon Cruffssant with Chocolatella mode effect. I think this is very, very cool, and you're going to see why. With Tickets, you're going to summon the second copy of Gelato, and Gelato search... He's going to search Madolche Knights. Link those two into Cstart and overlay both into Teacher, and now activate Cruffssant's effect to bounce Madolche Chateau to your hand. Activate again, shuffle all monsters in your graveyard, and now you set Madolche Knights. So at the end of your turn you will have monster negate. Yes, Madolche Knights is not the best counter trap, but at least you have some negates, and also have the disruption on form of shuffling cards from the opponent's graveyard into their deck. Another cool thing that you can do if you don't want to shuffle cards from the opponent's graveyard is to activate Teacher's Effect, target literally anything. I don't know, let's target Cstart. So activate her second effect because a monster Madolche card went to the graveyard, to shuffle Gelato. If you want, you can add to your hand, but I don't see much purpose on it. Maybe if you have something like, I don't know, Mufli, maybe you actually want to have Gelato in your hand. But anyways, let's say you don't. So now Ticket will activate because it's mandatory, and now you're going to summon Pudding Cesur once again, and Pudding Cesur will activate. So now you can summon Puddinces to your field. So when you activate Madolche Knights to negate a monster effect, you will be able to shuffle a random card from the opponent's hand. So it depends on what you prefer. If you prefer the shuffling cards into graveyard and negate, or if you prefer to negate a card and hand loop one card from the opponent's hand. I think that Cruffssant is actually very, very good with the new Madolches. I didn't test the deck a lot because I'm more focused on playing with TCG cards. I don't play a lot with OCG cards because there's not much purpose on playing with cards that we won't receive for 2 months. Anyways, I also forgot to mention that if you start with Madolche, you could overlay a Cruffssant and Madolche on the end of the field too, and with 2 of the XC monsters, even though it's kind of redundant because it's those effects are hard once per turn, so there's not much purpose to summon them. So maybe you just want to overlay into a army, so that's just sticking there on the field. So now I want to show you another version of the combo in the case that you don't want to play Madolche Knights or Cruffssant. Although I think those cards are very good now, I think it's very much worth playing Cruffssant and Madolche Knights. At least one copy of each with the new Madolches, but I don't know, I think a lot of people don't have patience on testing older Madolche cards because they simply think those cards are awful. And even though I myself, at least now, with the TCG build, I only playing the quote-unquote good Madolche monsters. I myself, I like to see older Madolche cards like Madolche Knights and Cruffssant and see if they have potential with the new support. This combo is essentially the same thing. You start with Angeli or Madolche or Pudding Cesur plus Chateau or Ticket. If you start with Pudding Cesur, it just changes the order. On this combo I'm going to show with Pudding Cesur. It doesn't change a lot, but I will show it because just to represent, you can do the same thing, but it's quite obvious. It's just reversed the order of the things. So anyways, going to special Pudding Cesur to summon Puddinces to your field. And do essentially the same thing that we did before. Target herself, overlay into Chocolate à la mode, shuffle, detach teacher to summon Angeli tribute, Hoodcake banish teacher, summon Mensagelato, search Ticket. Now you are going to activate Ticket and Chateau, and Ticket will shuffle the remaining monster, Ticket streaming 1, Chocolate à la mode streaming 2, Chocolate à la mode can summon literally anything, doesn't matter. So I suppose I'm going to summon Madolche, I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to summon Madolche, and with Ticket you can summon Mensagelato. Search with Mensagelato Madolche Palooza, it's also an option. You won't be able to have so much disruption during the opponent's turn, but you will get a lot of monsters. So I think most people agree that Madolche Palooza is a better card than Cruffssant and Knights, but it depends on what you think. Anyways, I think that it is quite worth playing Madolche Palooza as well. Link the random monster and Chocolate à la mode into C-Start and overlay your 2 Mensagelatos into teacher. So during the opponent's turn, something that you can do, even though you won't have as many disruptions, you will have a lot of control in the board. Let's say you just want to shuffle one card from the opponent's graveyard. So you're going to detach for teacher's effect, teacher's second effect to shuffle Mensagelato to the deck. Thanks to Chateau, you can add Mensagelato to your hand instead. And now Ticket will activate, and you are going to summon Pudding Cesur, and Pudding Cesur will activate. In this case, you could either summon the third Mensagelato, which I don't have. I don't have a third Mensagelato. I should get one. I should get 3 of every every Madolche card on max rarity. I want to do that someday. Anyways, I don't have the third Mensagelato, but you could also summon something like a second Pudinces, which is also very good, because Pudinces will be level 4, so during your next turn you can overlay both and do the shenanigans with Chocolate Labode and Charmisso. Or you could even summon something like Chosvalier. While on the field, the opponent cannot target other Madolche monsters to attack other than Chosvalier. So if you're playing against something like, I don't know, Crusadia or, I don't know, Desk Bots, some of those OTK decks that punch for 1,000 billion damage at once, redirecting the attack to a monster on defensive position is an option. Although I think most people won't play Chosvalier, but I think it's a cool card. But anyways, let's stick with the second copy of Pudinces. And after that, you could also activate Palooza to summon Mensagelato and search another card, probably a Chateau. So during your next turn, you have more options, more freedom to do your loops with the Madolche monsters. And even though this is not the most disruptive field, it has even less disruption than the previous combo that I showed with Madolche Knights. But I like this one as well because you get so much cards on the field, and even if the opponent has, it's very unlikely for the opponent to clear this field. Let's be honest. Even if they have something like, I don't know, Evenly Match or Higeki, even if they try to activate those cards, you still have a lot of setup. You still have at least, I don't know, let's say in the case of Raigeki, it won't change a lot because you are going to return every one of your monsters to your hand. Or in the case of Evenly Match, you could also put just leave Hoodkick on the board, which is also very scary if the opponent cannot deal with, because Hoodkick can generate so much advantage. You are going to be able to summon another Pudding Cesur, and then Pudding Cesur summon another, I don't know, Angeli, and then another Pudinces, and overlay both and do more things. It's hard to clear this board, that's the point. So even though you don't have a lot of interaction during the opponent's turn, you have a lot of setup, and it will be very hard it will be very unlikely that during your turn, when the opponent passes, you will have no cards on the field. It's very hard for the opponent to clean that board just because of the sheer amount of card advantage that you generate with 2 cards. And that's not even considering things like hand traps that now you can play and bounce to your hand with Chateau and Teacher, which is also an option that a lot of people have mentioned. There's so many possibilities. I really like the card. It opens a lot of possibilities going first. The deck finally can do something going first, other than, I don't know, summon C-Star Pass and hoping you drew into, I don't know, Ash Blossoms and Infinite Impermanence. And the Ash Blossom also was kinda iffy with the new build, because hand traps that were monsters were kinda weird playing on this build, because you could not summon Pudding Cesur from your hand if you had a monster on your graveyard. So the best hand trap to play in the deck was Infinite Impermanence, because it was a trap, not a monster. And I also tested Ash Blossom just because it's the most powerful hand trap, the most versatile hand trap. But other than that, we can finally play things like Effect Veiler, which is not once per turn, so you could theoretically bounce Effect Veiler with Chateau and now activate Effect Veiler 2 times because it's not a hard once per turn. So that's also a very, very cool interaction. But those are interactions not necessarily combos. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. Bye bye.